Gun laws in Maryland regulate the sale, possession, and use of firearms and ammunition in the state of Maryland in the United States. State Constitution. The Constitution of Maryland contains no provision protecting the right for individuals to keep and bear arms. The state preempts some local firearm regulations, though local governments may regulate firearms with respect to minors and areas of public assembly. Annapolis, Anne Arundel County, Montgomery County, Gaithersburg, and Baltimore are known to have local firearm regulations. The Constitution of Maryland, Declaration of Rights, Art 2. The Constitution of the United States, and the laws made, or which shall be made, in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, are, and shall be the supreme law of the state. And the judges of this state, and all the people of this state, are, and shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or law of this state to the contrary notwithstanding. Regulated firearms. The Maryland State Police maintain a registry of regulated firearms that are allowed to be sold within the state. Dealers must forward the manufacturer-included shell casing in its sealed container to the Department of State Police Crime Laboratory upon sale, rental, or transfer of a regulated firearm for inclusion in their ballistics database, known as the Integrated Ballistics Identification System. Residents may only purchase handguns manufactured after January 1, 1985 that are on the approved handguns list from the Maryland Handgun Roster. Laws prohibiting firearms. As of October 1, 2013, detachable magazines for semi-automatic handguns and semi-automatic centerfire rifles which are capable of holding more than 10 rounds may not be purchased, manufactured or sold, though they may be possessed by persons who already owned them prior to enactment of the 2013 changes. Magazines greater than 10 rounds may be purchased or acquired outside the state and carried into Maryland and used within the state. Certain pistols are classified as assault pistols, and banned from ownership if not registered prior to August 1, 1994. Only handguns on the official handgun roster may be sold in the state. Private sales of regulated firearms, which includes handguns, are permissible, but must be done at a local Maryland State Police barracks. As of Oaked, a handgun qualification license is required for the sale, as well as a background check and a mandatory 7-day waiting period. A person must obtain a safety training certificate prior to purchasing regulated firearms, and present that certificate prior to each purchase. With some limited exceptions, only one regulated firearm may be purchased in any 30-day period. Handguns manufactured on or before December 31, 2002 must be sold or transferred with an external safety lock. Handguns manufactured after December 31, 2002 may only be sold or transferred if they have an internal mechanical safety device. Firearms are prohibited from certain places, including schools and demonstrations. Open and concealed carry. Carrying a handgun, whether openly or concealed, is prohibited unless one has a permit to carry a handgun or is on their own property or their own place of business. The Maryland State Police may issue a permit to carry a handgun at their discretion and based on an investigation. In practice, very few applicants are granted carry permits, and approval typically requires the applicant to provide proof of a clear and imminent threat on his or her life. Permits are not automatically renewed, and the permit holder must justify the continued need for the permit when applying for renewal. No permit is required to openly carry a rifle or shotgun in Maryland. On March 5, 2012, a federal judge ruled in Woolard v. Sheridan that Maryland's may issue concealed carry law is unconstitutional, writing, "A citizen may not be required to offer a good and substantial reason why he should be permitted to exercise his rights." The Maryland Attorney General's office appealed the ruling. On March 21, 2013, a 3-judge panel of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals unanimously overturned the district court ruling, holding that the good and substantial cause requirements imposed by Maryland law are permissible without violating the Second Amendment. Recent events. On April 4, 2013, the Maryland General Assembly approved legislation imposing significant new restrictions on gun ownership. The bills ban the sale of certain semi-automatic firearms that they define as assault weapons, limit magazine capacity to 10 rounds, require that handgun purchases be fingerprinted and pass a training class in order to obtain a handgun license, and bar persons who have been involuntarily committed to a mental health institution from possessing firearms. Governor Martin O'Malley signed the legislation into law on May 16, 2013. Regarding 10-round magazine limits for rifles purchased in Maryland, standard 30-round magazines may be purchased outside Maryland and brought into the state for personal use. Those standard magazines may not be transferred, given, sold or manufactured inside Maryland. Maryland police have been accused of targeting drivers from other states including Florida because they hold concealed carry permits. Summary table. References